WIIFTBP WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like, man, he said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that? Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
What about my love? Seems you have forgotten love. I do believe that something went wrong somewhere. What about my feelings? Do they mean anything at all? You got me so in love, I'm too blind to see. And that you got my love, now you wanna put me down. And that you got my love, got me standing on shaky ground. What about it, baby? What about the days and the nights we spent? What about the love we made so sweet? Are you sure you wanna live? Think it over, baby. 'Cause girl, I believe. I think you just might wanna change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, got me standing on shaky ground. What kind of way is that to treat your man? When I gave all that I never had, you got me going through changes of life with you. Are you sure you wanna live? Think it over, babe. 'Cause girl, I believe. I think you just might wanna change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Yeah. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. You don't come around. Now that you got all my loving, you got me standing on shaky ground. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Really wish you would change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Now that you got my love, you don't come around. Now that you got all my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Oh my, I had a conversation with her. This is how it went. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Oh, Lord have mercy. 'Cause I need you. Yeah. Baby, won't you change your mind? Baby, won't you change your mind? Oh, no. I've been hoping, baby. I've been praying, baby.
WIIFTBP.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Jeanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host in the building, Ruthie MFMO. Ruthie MFMO, how you feeling this morning?
Yo, good morning.
What's up, man? You know what, Ruthie? I kind of like the not.
I'm off Monday. Pacing myself.
So then you could spread the Monday. You could take the Monday and leave it on Monday, cause Mondays, like I'm always nervous on Monday. Tuesday it's like you got a straight up pattern. So if you don't come on Monday, then you can't have the Monday morning on Tuesday, cause you almost there.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, no, ain't even true. There it is, y'all. That's Ruthie MFMO. That's why she MFMO, right?
You stop saying that.
Why, your mama be listening? I'm sorry, mom.
You know she be listening.
You know what? Well, how come I don't ever see her?
YouTube.
Cause she be on YouTube.
You know everybody listen on YouTube when they don't want to be known.
Oh, that's where you can make up your anonymous. That's why we always be getting the Russians be hitting us on YouTube. You go through your YouTube comments, it be like, I'll be like, what the? Yeah, and then shang dong dong dong.
You gotta delete them.
I do delete them, but then they just keep on coming back. It's like once they find you, they be on you on YouTube. They be like, I be like, golly, man, leave me alone, China.
Next thing, then the Nigerians be like, I am a poor, lonely woman, and I cannot feed my children. Then it'd be like, Dr. Sabiti told me to take the AIDS drug, and you can call him right now, and everybody, it'd be all over. All them being, like, we get trolled everywhere. Like, and then that's on top of the haters.
But if they can flag your post for saying something crazy, why can't they take away those worrisome, fake spam comments?
Well, see, I feel like some of them don't beat us. That's on YouTube. On Facebook, they got a whole profile, so they done took the time. So when you click, they got 4 hungry children on the other page. When you click it, you be like,
it's crazy.
Dang, man.
And how people can mirror your own Facebook page and be talking to your people.
Oh, man. Man, one day I was almost thought I was going to have to beat my daughter. I was like, hold on.
Scary.
Turns out that it was not her profile. Like, and it was like that. And she literally was like, I was like, I don't even want to hear, you know how your parents don't believe you when you want to give them, I couldn't give her a whooping, but I sure was hot. And she was like, and I just was like, and she was like, it's not me. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then she showed me like it was literally a fake profile. Like, it's amazing to me though, the lengths that people go on Facebook. I ain't gonna even lie. Cause the funniest thing to me is if you don't mess with me, why you make a fake profile to come watch what I do? You ever see that? That like people do that all the time, and then it's like the funny thing is they be talking in their own voice, so you be like, dog, you know it's you, right? You only got 3 lines, so if you gonna use them, you gotta spread them out, cause then it make us know who it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. This Facebook, this universe, in this world is just crazy. All right, that's Ruthie Moore. I'm sorry, Mom. I will not be calling her Ruthie. I won't be using the M. It just flows. It does. Ruthie, I could just see you coming into a room and being like if somebody tried to test you.
I do got 2 middle names, but they don't start with an M or F.
What they say? What, give me.
You know, I told you I ain't saying that. You gonna steal my stuff? You gonna have to look it up. Put in some work like the Nigerians and the Chinese.
Ruthie.
Just saying.
All right, y'all. That's Ruthie Moore. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. In case you can't see, y'all see I got on my fresh pink shirt. I had to rock it once. I had to rock it at least once. I got a board meeting today, so I figured, hey, you know what? Let me just give them a little splash of color. Plus, I'm trying to get out my summer clothes because, you know, we winding down now. It's like we over the hill in the summertime. Like, you know how you can see the end of summer? My son went to school on Tuesday. Let me just tell you, his photos just like, for real, y'all, like it ain't even the 18th now and I'm back in school. He was not very happy. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, when I saw him do that, I was like, oh yeah, let me go through my summer clothes that I ain't worn and just make sure I get at least one use out of them while I'm doing my thing. All right, Ruthie. Boy, you know I sprayed everything down, so you should fit. Does it smell clean and fresh in here?
Sure.
You know why, Ruthie? Because when I come in on Thursday mornings, I spray everything down. I shine. I wipe down everything. Because, you know, when I flick on and I don't see no plastic on the chairs on Wednesday nights, then you know something is up. Hey, y'all. So let me tell y'all something. Do not be tagging me at no 9 o'clock. Y'all know I be half asleep. And people be, Maze, you got to fix this. It ain't right. We can't see. We ain't here. What? Look, y'all. I told you I can only do the show once a month because I be in shock. So I had my show this month already. Hey, y'all, but he is here, the host extraordinaire of what has to be probably the second most popular show on the network. Because y'all nasty, that's why. Really? Like, I'm going to tell you. People really want to talk about stuff, but they be scared to talk about it, so they need somebody else to do it. So that's why you got to tune in on Wednesday nights. My man DJ Reese the Ruler and Week Izzo Wednesdays. Reese, how you feeling today, man?
Blessed by the best, you already know the rest. And we ain't need no plastic yesterday. Not yet. You're not yet.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. I just take a sampling of the comments. I just take a random sampling of the comments. And when I take the random sampling, I'll be like, oh, yeah, it was a hot show.
Hey, we had some call-ins yesterday, so like I hooked my phone up to the Rogue, and I got like another number attached. So like Bootsy called in, Jeanette called in. It was.
I told y'all because people we want to be talking about stuff, but I promise you, in another life, I would do like an after dark show. Like, did y'all ever see Luke's show? Did y'all ever see Luther Campbell After Dark? Now, I know that that's extreme. I probably wouldn't be that extreme. But I feel like there is okay, I know this is going to sound really crazy, and I'm not going to go too much further down this path at all. And it's pretty early, and the same thing with us yet. So I'm going to say, I do feel like there is a space for, do you call it black erotica? I don't know how to explain it. But I do feel like there is a missing section in our broad-based, not the show programming, but like in the universe. Like, I don't feel like you only see black people like as like animals, sort of, or like, I don't know how to explain it, but I do feel like there's a space in the universe, and that's why I think so many people have responded so strongly to Reese and Toy's show, which I have to be very careful with when I say it because I don't want Facebook to ban me.
WHW.
Man. The WHW Wednesdays. So Reese, what y'all talk about last night? Just top line me. Just top line me. I don't go down do not take me to the depths. I do not want to go to the alley.
No, it was pretty cool. Like, we had a girl had wrote into a dude, was asking him like, she was courting him, so she was asking him if he have a house, job, car, and he said, I have all of that. And then he asked her, what does she have? And she said, nothing. And didn't your mother teach you that a man's supposed to take care of a woman? So that was our first discussion.
A man was supposed to take care of a woman?
Yeah, so like that was our first discussion. And then we asked if you on a break and you do something, is that cheating? You know, and it was just...
y'all millennials don't even got no rules, man. So it ain't no such thing as cheating. Y'all just be like, hey, I decided that, I just... nah, man. You know what? See, I had to save it up. You know what? I might have to binge y'all. I might have to binge y'all on a weekend. Yeah, but if I binge y'all, Carrie better not go nowhere that weekend. That's all I got to say. It is the Maze Jackson Show. So that's my man, Reese the Ruler. We got my girl, Ruthie Moore, in the building. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Dressed for my board meeting today. I'm not rocking a tie, though. I'm not wearing a tie to the board meeting. Can I tell you what I do like? You know what? That's all right. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's do this. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up, and away. We're going to bank left, head a little, come back. We're going to make a complete U-turn from Midway Airport because we're taking off from Midway. It's a private jet hangar over there. So we taking off from Midway, but we are turning around because we're going to kind of try to hover a little bit above 79th Street for a little while, right? Because today on 79th and Western is the funeral for Officer French. Today they will be memorializing her. Yesterday the lines were down the block. People waited hours to visit and say their respects. It was interesting, like the black people that were in the lines that they interviewed. Like, it was kind of interesting that they interviewed the black people in the lines, and they were like, it just felt good to touch the lady's hand, and I was just kind of like, maybe there really is more value in the
what lady hand?
The mother of Officer French.
Oh, gotcha.
She said she felt much better after that. And I was just thinking maybe there is something to this whole police being more, having more. It's something. We'll talk about it. But you know what the real question is, Ruthie? Y'all want to take some bets today? Is the mayor going or not?
Mm-mm.
She's not? Are you saying, you're not taking
I said no.
bets? Oh, you say no, she's not? Mm-hmm. Reese, you say the mayor going or not today or not?
She going.
Oh. You seen it in the, I gotta wait we gotta check her day book and see if it says she's over there. You think, will they ask her, will they try to interview her? Will she hold a press conference?
Oh my goodness, I hope not.
Like down around the corner?
No.
Ruthie, I think you underestimate your mayor.
I think she went to the thing yesterday.
You saw, you gotta be careful because Ruthie got sources.
No, didn't she go? Did she went like at like 5 o'clock or something? Like probably like before. Like
You saw it on the news or something?
I heard it. Yeah, I listened to the news. They said she went but see, this is the thing, because I listened specifically for that, and it was kind of peppered in, like it wasn't like a big deal, which it wasn't supposed to be. So I believe at like 5 o'clock, probably before it started,
She was probably right there, first one. Pew, said her Hail Mary full of grace.
they kept it moving. So I don't think she gonna go today.
Oh,
She did her job.
oh. Reese, you say she going? I don't know. What y'all think?
That now,
Huh?
after what she said.
After if that happened, I don't think she going. But I do think that means she got punked.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
It's not about her.
It is about
It's
her.
about the
It's
lady.
always about the
It's
man.
about the officer.
Okay. I'm gonna honor that. I'm gonna honor that. What y'all hear? Did y'all hear that? I didn't hear that. I was asleep. Hey y'all, it be hard. Ruthie, it's getting. I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
You gotta pace yourself.
Ruthie, I am literally getting old. Like yesterday. So this what happened yesterday. I'm gonna tell y'all this secret. So yesterday, I fell asleep at like, I ain't gonna even lie, like 6 o'clock, 6:30. I was in the chair. Woke up though. You know how you wake up at 8? Like I woke up at like 8:30, energetic. Yes. So now I'm up, and then it's about 9:45, and this Cadillac commercial comes on, right? I've never seen this Cadillac commercial in my life. Carrie starts singing it. And I'm like, I never heard this Cadillac commercial in my life. How you singing it? She looked at her watch, and she was like, because it's after 9 o'clock. I was like, dang, I'll never make it after 9. I mean, she knew it word for word. And I had never even heard of it. And we watch TV together every night, right? And it's like, yeah, it's funny. I swear to God, I'll be up till 12. But I think I sleep from like 8 to 11:40. And then I wake up like, yeah, I'm going to bed. And then I call it up. I was up until that time. All right, let me see what else is on the news. R. Kelly's trial has started. It's not looking good for R. Kelly at all. I mean, I don't think they could have convicted him in Chicago, but when they sent him to New York, it was a wrap. Cause you know they still mad at him for the Jay-Z thing in New York too. I'm telling you,
that was Jay-Z's fault anyway. How you going on tour R. Kelly anyway? Particularly after Dame Dash asked him not to do it. So Jay-Z ain't right anyway, Maze, for that. So he got his karma for that.
R. Kelly, Dame went on the tour too.
Best of both worlds, and you see how it turned out. Jay-Z should be ashamed of himself.
Oh Lord,
he ain't care about black women and girls then.
That was one of the hottest albums ever. Ruthie.
The best of both worlds?
Yes, when it came out. Yes.
It's cringy if you think about what R. Kelly is and represents. It's cringy.
I'm gonna tell you. So it's
Fiesta.
It's hard not to listen to that song though. Let me just tell you, I knew Boo and Gotti, right? All right, y'all. We want to welcome the WBGX 1570 AM audience. Ruthie, I'm in the Don't Listen to R. Kelly crew. So as much as that album was great, because even when they play when it comes, I literally do change. And I know people say you don't have to, and I know about the Elvis stuff and all of that good stuff. Here's the thing. Okay, see, Ruthie, I can't tell you this one too, but I remember the very first, when the first tape came, like when the tape first came out. I can't tell you all the details, but what I could say is that there was, because I knew so many people in Chicago who were intimately involved in protecting the situation, who we still hold up to this day, I just don't rock with it. So I don't rock R. Kelly. I don't play it. I don't listen to it. And not because somebody white else did it, but really because of what we know happened to at least one. Well, we know, I can't speak to anything else, but what we do know happened to at least one baby girl. And I just think, I do have a I do feel like I have some sort of obligation to not, and I haven't. So that's all I good. That's all I could say. And Elvis don't have nothing to do with it, right? Like I know Reese, you was like, man, if they still play Elvis, I don't feel like white people
listen to Elvis.
But I don't feel like what white people do, right or wrong, justifies what we could do to ourselves. So that's all. We don't have to get on R. Kelly, but I'm just gonna tell y'all, it's not looking good for the brother. It is not looking good for the brother. And I'm asking, are they letting him wear a suit, or is he? Because they keep playing the orange. Please tell me the man is in a suit, going to court, like, or Ruthie, like, I don't care if he came in his birthday suit.
I don't even. I honestly don't.
I just feel like I always wonder, do people actually go to court in orange suits? Man, all right. How about this one? Did you see the special ed teacher shot on the Dan Ryan? 67 years old. Crazy. Them shootings on the Dan Ryan. So it's been over 159 shootings on the expressway this year. That's crazy. Like that's just crazy. How about this one? Donda, Kanye, listening party, August 26th. Soldier Field. Yo, Bueller, we need some tickets around here. See, y'all know Bueller is the plug. She gonna play innocent now. She gonna be like, I was in Jamaica, I ain't know. Nah, Bueller, we know. Y'all going to see Donda? Y'all going to check that out? I don't know. I feel like that's a super spreader event too. Cause people, Soldier Field people gonna be smoking. So I don't know. Hey, I went to the Jay-Z Beyonce concert. I'm just telling you, and the Justin Timberlake Jay-Z concert and the Beyonce concert. Can I tell y'all what it was like out there? It was see, I knew Bueller was listening. We want our tickets. We know you got the plug. See, she all the way from Jamaica. She in the grill like, I heard my name. We want some of the plug. All right, Ruthie, you going? If I get the plug?
When is it?
August 26th.
No. I don't know none of his new music, man. I don't even know if I can vibe with it.
Ruthie, I don't either. Sometimes I just be like, we should be there just cause.
I don't know if I can vibe with it.
I think we should just be there cause, But I feel like they be not inviting us just because too. They be like, we gonna prove to you. But that's okay, cause I'm gonna have my own concert. One day when I'm famous, that's okay. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to ask the social media question of the day. Hey, also, by the way, they're going to be packing food over at New Beginnings, which is Pastor Corey Brooks' church. So I know we had a lot of chitter chatter on my Facebook page yesterday about the King Von mural. So many of y'all want to help. Go help pack the bags over at Pastor Brooks's because he service everybody. Y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBP.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one. You got a couple of them. Got two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh, Lord. He's did it before. Oh, Lord.
I got one. Better. I got 5 reasons.
5 reasons. Oh, Lord. He turned it around.
Turn it around. He woke me up this morning.
Oh. Don't do this. Don't do this. Number 4?
He woke me up this morning.
Come on, number 3. Come.
He woke me up.
Oh, Lord.
He woke you up.
That thing can touch you, but one of them 5s will get you. What's the second one?
He woke me up this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And the number 1 reason.
Number 1. Final answer.
He woke me up this morning.
He woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a testimony.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:36 a.m. and I'm Rich the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, weather, and traffic update. In sports, the Chicago Cubs finished their series up against the Cincinnati Reds. The Cubs will homer 3 times as they root the Reds 7-1 and make it 2 wins in a row. The Chicago White Sox was hosting the Oakland A's yesterday. They will beat the Oakland A's 3-2. On the traffic on the Kennedy from O'Hare to the Loop will be 18 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 17. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield to Exchange will be 27. Exchange to Deerfield will be 26. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 28. Back out will be the same. On the Stevenson, from I-355 to the Dam Ryan, is 28 minutes. Outbound will be 32. On the Bishop Ford, from I-80 to the Dam Ryan, is 32 minutes. It's 30 minutes back out to I-80. The Dam Ryan is 17 minutes to the Loop, 16 minutes to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive south from 55th to Jackson is 7 minutes, as well as Jackson to 55th. On the north side of things is 8 minutes. That's Bryn Mawr to Randolph and Randolph to Bryn Mawr. Today's weather, it is currently 75. Today will be a high of 82 and a low of 72. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now, here is Sparkle with Easy.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. A partner to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, like it was nothing. Ooh, so much, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, like it was nothing. Ooh, so magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy, you make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Do not, I repeat, do not cross Ruthie Moore. Don't do it.
Man, this is public knowledge.
She is around here whooping on people in the break.
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you, Ruthie, that was terrible. I can't. Now I know why you. Man, you know what? So I don't know if we getting tickets to Donda. Hey, Beulah, don't say my name though, cause I know somebody's still mad at me. See that Cameron thing was a real thing. So you don't even want to just hook the morning show up. Just don't say my name, okay? Don't say my name. All right. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Shout out to Twin. Hey, Twin, what's up with the friends and family, yo? Hey, y'all, we should crash Twin having a cookout on Saturday. We should crash it. Everett Myrick, you know he be here with us all the time. We should just go crash it, and then they don't have enough food for everybody. We should just tell everybody, go meet over at Twins Barbecue. And then the both Eric and Everett, they because you know they got a nice little cookout, right? But I bet if we all flooded it, we could eat up all their food. Would that be wrong? I'm going to tell y'all on Friday where it's at.
It would be wrong.
Okay, on Friday, I'm telling y'all where the twins are having their friends and family cookout. I'm going to tell everybody we going to all meet up over there. Hey, man, we don't want no turkey tips neither because we still don't even know what them are. Man, Ruthie, why you look like that? You like turkey tips?
Not really.
Okay, because what is it? What is a turkey tip? I think a turkey tip is the tip of the wing. What if it's like you eating, you know how the pinky of the wing?
I know what you're talking about.
That could be a tip.
What is a turkey tip?
Some bull they be making up for y'all to eat just so the Arabs was like, look, I'm just telling you, the Arabs was like, we don't need to waste this. Remarket it, repackage it. And now we talk about turkey tips. Ain't no turkey tips. Turkey tips. So everybody crashing, yo. Look, Alderman Brookins got one right next to y'all? Oh, yeah, we gonna crash Alderman Brookins and Twins cookout this weekend, y'all. We gonna take it. It's turkey booty. It's turkey tails. Oh, y'all be eating the turkey spine talking about this turkey tips. Yeah, look at this cartilage. It's just like a tip. Get y'all butt up out of here. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Hey, did I mention to y'all? I forgot to mention that J-Mal Green is on the roof of the school in protest to Mayor Lightfoot not turning in his school to a youth center. Somebody else was on the roof before. Who was that? That roof thing is it ain't no turkey breast. You lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You want it to be turkey breast. That is turkey. It ain't. Y'all making up stuff. Nah, y'all mad because y'all eating turkey tails. Y'all eating chopped turkey booty and calling it turkey tips. Ruthie, they mad.
That's funny.
It is though. They eat turkey. Reese, you eat turkey tails. I mean turkey tips. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had one before.
Nah, I said, do you eat them regularly? Like, do you go to the place? What did it taste like to you?
It's like turkey.
Oh. Yeah. It's a turkey tip. All right. All parts of the turkey taste the same, too. Nasty. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I don't like turkey. Huh?
What you eat on Thanksgiving? Ham?
I eat ham, chicken.
You eat that swine.
Chicken. Man, one time me and my mom had hamburgers. Right? I don't have a traditional Thanksgiving. Like I try to cook a whole. You know what else I'll make is a roast, right? Or like I'll get I'll make a bunch of different meats, right? So I'll go buy some ribeyes and some chicken and I'll just make sure it's a plethora of meat. But no, I'm not a turkey guy at all. Never have been, never will be. All right, yeah. You know, it's funny. I was just talking about my friend Twin. What? Good morning, Toy Norwood. What you doing? You must got to catch a Spirit flight somewhere, right? They make you get up. They make you be at the airport like 6 hours. Shout out to Toy, part of the WHW morning crew. You must got to work or something. That's because I know you ain't after last night. Y'all ain't up this early. Okay, so I was talking about my friend Twin. My friends, the twins. Twin, don't get mad, but I think this is a good analogy. So, the social media question of the day. Reese, give me the big voice. You ready? Give me the big voice. Oh, you wasn't ready. See that, y'all? He's slipping. He is busy trying to, busy. Go ahead, man. Give me the big voice.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
When did you become the adult version of you? Do you understand what I'm talking about? The adult version of you. This has a purpose. Okay? This has a purpose. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. But when did you become the adult version of you? Now, I don't know if you all recall last week that when David Turner, or was it 2 weeks ago, when David Turner, who was the international first vice president of Phi Beta Sigma from my chapter, and Brother Sadiq was talking about me, and he was like, "There's an old maze and a new maze. I can't say how much I like the old maze, but I really like the new maze." And I thought that was reflective of me becoming the adult version of me. Because I was going to say that I was thinking, like when I go to my high school reunions and stuff like that, the people that I talk to are, I don't want to say they're the same people that they were, but you can see who they were in high school and how it kind of developed, and their personality fully blossomed, and they became a grown version of who they were in high school. Now, for a lot of people, that's good. It doesn't always have to be. I think that for myself, right? I fought all the time in college. I probably was very much influenced by music, drugs, not drugs, that was my cousin, lifestyle, a whole bunch of things. And I don't believe that I finally became my adult self until about 35 and really 40. When I settled into who I was and who I was going to be. And all along the way, I was trying to figure it out. That means that I probably still participated in parts of my youth that were detrimental. You know what I'm saying? And I'm curious to know, when did you Reese, open up the phone lines. Because I want to know when you became your adult self. I was telling you, like, I have some friends, I was going to say Eric and Everett, I ain't going to say them, but Eric and Everett. Like, I could tell you that I think they was fighting well into right up to 40. Like you could, like, literally, and I still say that given the right circumstances, you still could get a punch in the mouth. I'm not fronting, right? Now I'm going to say that like when we was 20, that could happen any day. Like any day, any minute, you just went somewhere, you knew it was going down. Somebody was going to get 30s, it slowed down, but you still could get it. I think like in the 40s, we started to get, and I'm saying that we all, if it went up, it wasn't going to be, well, I had to sit it out. I tried to break it up. We was all probably going to get in it, or we all stayed out of it. When did you become your adult self? Not just did grown stuff. Cause I feel like I was doing grown stuff in high school, right? Paying bills, going to work, 40 hours a week, sometimes 60. But like when you settled into who you were, where you were like confident and you weren't necessarily trying to prove or figure out who you were. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Ruthie, when did you become your adult self?
I'm still getting there. I have so much runway to become whoever I want to become.
I wholeheartedly agree.
So I'm still getting there. But I think rites of passages are important. And I think that in our culture, we should put more of a concerted effort on actual rites of passages. Because we do them like, you had your first drink. Like we do rites of passages, but I think we should incorporate them more into our culture and I ain't gonna say in a more positive way, but you know, in a more, I don't know, in a more like with more attention being paid to it. Like we got like, you know, we use like graduations. That's why black people, you see all the balloons and the flowers and the bullhorns at the kindergarten graduations, because we believe in rites of passages. But I think we should put them into like maturity, like bar mitzvahs. You know what I'm saying? Like that concept.
Yeah, where you been hanging out? What the heck is a bar mitzvah?
You know what I'm talking about.
Do the people though?
Like stuff like that, like, you know.
So you know what? There's a song on the Jay-Z Kanye album. I know y'all gonna be like whatever, but on Watch the Throne album, where he talks about black bar mitzvahs with his son and like the rites of passages and all of those things. I'm asking this because, and it's gonna lead into something else a little bit later. Because I would tell you that if you were to track Maze Jackson, probably up until age 40, there was a trail of, I was an adult kind of officially, like, I had my own house, I paid my own bills, but I don't know that I had completely settled into who I am and into my maturity. And I don't think that I really started to live, like I had a bunch of accomplishments, but I don't know that I was confident in who I was as a person. My perfect example, I think Reese and I was talking about this yesterday. I said that my favorite vehicle that I ever had was my Lincoln Navigator, right? And I had a Lincoln Navigator when they was fresh. They was out, you know, it was when 18s was the biggest rims that you could get. And I remember listening to Jay-Z and Imaginary Players, right? And the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6. And even at 30-something, I was influenced to trade the car in for the 4.6. And all that was playing in my mind was that song. I'm asking some of this because I want to know what are the influences to getting you to adulthood, and how do you know when you're there?
Depends on your paradigm. Like you see in the comments, some people say when I had a child. There are certain things that people define as their rites of passage into adulthood. Sometimes those things are not defined for us. You might have got kicked out of your house when you was a certain age, so that's your measurement for, that's when I became an adult. You might have went to college, and that might be your measurement. You might have got married. Like, it's so many different. You might have went to jail or got out of jail.
But see, that's my point.
Like, and that's how you define like your rites of passage. But what if we actually put forth concerted rites of passages for our culture?
I think you're right. I mean, I would tell you that I do believe that in some worlds, in some aspects of our community, going to jail is a rites of passage. And like, there are some people that are like, if if you went to jail, they're like, oh my God, the world ends. There are some people that say you got locked up and they be like, hey man, welcome to the real world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get somewhere here. And so I'd love to hear from you. When did you become the adult version of you? And then let me ask you, is there a point for some of you on the older, like when you finally feel like you got it right or you're getting it right? Because I would tell you that I probably came the adult version of me probably at 30 something. And then I think I finally started getting it right around 40. Now, I'm not saying I was bad, or I'm saying like I kind of put it all in place. And so kind of understanding what at about 40. When did you become the adult version of you? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Because I think there's a difference between the becoming an adult, because there's a lot of different factors. And I guess my other part is, when did you start getting it right, in your opinion? Did you start getting it right? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Reese, when do you think you became the adult version of you?
I'm not that. Now, you know I'm still getting it right. Come on now. But I can say, like, right now, like, I look at, like, I was just, like, telling my girl, like, man, it's crazy, like, 10 years ago, me, and like, now, you know, is a different, a way different person. Like, you talking about, like, you in college, like, let me tell you, like, I hit number one at Eastern at one point. Like, I was that guy. And then, but I think the older I got, I think now I'm like, I'm chill. It's certain things that I don't do that I used to do. And then I look at myself like, I can't believe I used to do that.
Man. So again, I would tell you that I have been taking care of myself since I left home, right? I get a care package every once in a while, but I was trying to figure it out. So adulthood, to one point of it is, are you the definition of being an adult is a person who is fully grown or developed. Now I say, so here, maybe this will break it down better. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And then my question is, are you your potential or are you your product or what you produce? Right? So my question is, when I look at that, are you judged by your potential or are you judged by what you do? Because if you never became the full adult never became the complete adult version of you, where you've got physical, mental, and emotional together, are you judged on who you are or who you could be? Because I think one of the things that we talk about oftentimes in our community is the potential. And do you have the ability to ever get to that potential? And if that's cut short, where does I don't want to say judgment, but where do you fit in our kind of whole universe? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Oh, wait. I got to send the link out because we're supposed to be talking to my best friend in my head, Alderman Jeanette Taylor. So let me get this out to her, and we'll be talking to you when we come back. Reese, it's the Maze Jackson Show with Maze and Ruthie Moore, DJ Reese the Ruler.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBP.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black three-letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black youth events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black youth members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black three-letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:01 a.m. And of course, I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, weather, and traffic update. The Chicago Cubs finishing up their series in Cincinnati against the Reds. The Cubs were homer 3 times as they root the Reds 7-1 and make it 2 wins in a row. Let's go, Cubbies. The Chicago White Sox beat the Oakland A's 3-2 as Luis Roberts would get 3 hits and 2 RBIs to lead the White Sox yesterday. Now over to traffic. On the Kennedy, times are going up. O'Hare to the Loop is 30 minutes now. Outbound to O'Hare will be 20. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield to Exchange will be 35. Exchange to Deerfield, 26. Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 43. Back out to Thorndale, just 37. On the Stevenson, from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 40 minutes. Outbound will be 34. Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 39 minutes. 29 minutes back out to I-80. On the Dan Ryan, it is 22 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive South stays in that 7. 55 to Jackson. Jackson to 55th. On the north side of things, Bryn Mawr to Randolph, and Randolph to Bryn Mawr is 8 minutes. Today's weather is currently 75. Today will be a high of 82 and a low of 72. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now, come on, y'all, get addicted with Slick with me on What's in it for the Black People.
I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Yeah. Oh, baby, oh, darling. Whoa, whoa, oh. Your love must be some kind of drug, baby, 'cause it just keeps on calling me, and I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done OD'd on you, babe. I'm addicted for you. Can't stop loving, 'cause I can't get enough of you, babe. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. This must be love. 'Cause I can't get enough of your love. I'm so addicted. Can't stop. I need you right now, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind, every day. It's been too long since I had you in my arms, and I
if I can take any more of being without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted. Lord have mercy. I can't be without you, baby. Oh no, not for a minute, not for an hour. I can't get enough. I'm so addicted. Woo. I need to check myself into some kind of rehab. 'Cause I need some help. Somebody help me, please. Please. Ooh. La 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 la. I need to testify this evening. Oh Lord, have you ever loved somebody so much that you just can't get them off your mind? Oh, I'm so addicted. Oh Lord, 'cause I can't stop loving you, my baby. Oh darling, I love you, I love you. This must be love. I've been overdosed on your loving. Can't stop loving you. I've done overdosed on my baby. Addicted to you. Without you, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Ooh. I'm addicted.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Jeanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, DJ Reese the Ruler. Reese, Ruthie Moore, let me have it again.
Don't say it.
I can't. That was so funny, though, Ruthie.
I'm going to leave a mic on next time.
No, but Ruthie, it was so funny, though. I can't say it. I can't. Please, can I say it?
Sure, Maze.
I'm not going to say it till later. I'll just mix it in, and then it won't be from you. Okay? Is that better? I'm just telling y'all. That was funny, though, Ruthie. It really was. You know, you kind of funny under... Y'all,
the truth be funny, don't it?
Sometimes it hurts. Ruthie said the only music we play is Get Some Booty music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every song is a begging song. Like, I'm so addicted to you. Let's throw back. What's Dante? I can't even remember now because I done threw everything. What about my love? She said, look, man, we gotta get some.
They all kind of sound the same.
It's like, see, that, because Ruthie, it's like all the music, it is kind of like, let me get some music. We're gonna have to break it up. We might have to throw some other stuff up in here. We might have to throw a little, we gotta put a hip hop, we can't even put yoga in that in either because it'd be, let me get some, y'all be tripping, man. Like, really, like, I was like, you know, I've been in here grooving. Y'all know this. Y'all be paying attention on the break. I be singing. I be doing my thing. I told you, if I could be a singer or Jay-Z, I'd be a singer. Right? And you know how much I like Jay-Z, but I'd rather sing. And if I could sing, y'all be mad because you see I be in here singing like nobody's listening. Ruthie be making faces. I'd be like, I'm so addicted to you. Right? I'd be singing and she'd be like, this must be. You know, I'd be lip syncing up some stuff.
You be getting it. Reese too.
Reese done got comfortable. I told you we got to put some plastic on these chairs because Reese around here, he getting, Reese, you R&B or hip hop? You probably juke.
Both.
R&B, I grew up.
See, me too, man. If I could be an R&B, if you could be Prince or Jay-Z, who you going?
Definitely, probably. I'm gonna take Prince, even though that Jay-Z is my man. But I'm gonna definitely.
Yeah, I'm Prince too.
Prince, yeah.
I gotta be Prince too. I gotta do the Prince thing too. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Ruthie, DJ Reese in the building. Todd just said busted, huh? He ain't gonna call. He just gonna. Todd, hey man, don't be sneak watching. You be watching and then don't be showing up to work. All right, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. When it comes to politics in Chicago, y'all know, my man is Alderman Burnett in the 27th ward. But if I had a best friend in my own head, politically, like, this is it. She is it. Every time she opens her mouth, every time she talks, and I'm gonna tell you, I started out feeling some kind of way because I'd be like, socialist this, socialist. But I'm going to tell you what, when it comes to somebody who says what I'm feeling in the moment, there's probably not anyone better than my best friend in my head who was with us this morning, who I think I might have woke up. But I'm going to tell you what, you woke up and cleaned up super quick. Hey, y'all, she is here. It is Alderman of the 20th Ward, Alderman Jeanette Taylor, my best friend in my head. How you doing, best friend?
I'm good, best friend. How are you?
Man, I'm all shook up. I got a lot going on. I got a few topics that I want to talk about today. But first of all, before we even get into it, I want you to tell me something good. Tell me some positive, wonderful things that are happening over there in the 20th Ward, because I know you always moving for your peoples. Give me something good first, because I got questions.
The thought that me and the community are digging in. So, there were a lot of people in the race for this seat. And during the time that I was campaigning, I told folks that I would work with the other candidates. And we've stuck to that. So we've dug in and dug to work together. And so I like that the community is well organized in a lot of pockets. And I get to work with them in a way that's different. They get a say so. And so that always goes good in the community. So, and I'm appreciative of that.
You know what? I'm going to say I have not heard. Usually I hear all the rumblings and people starting to talk about and plan. And one of the interesting things is, in this case, I haven't heard any of that. Now, I might say that some of the mixer-uppers may not still be around. I'm going to leave that alone. However, what I have not seen is anybody working openly against you. Well, with the exception of maybe your girl on the 5th floor, but that's a whole nother story. We'll leave that alone. Alderman, so I'm going to start here. The Obama Center groundbreaking has occurred. And I know that that's not necessarily in your award, but we know the Obama Center is having a tremendous impact. Where are you at with the Obama Center? And have you guys kind of figured out that, I know there was issues in the community about the affordable housing versus new people coming in. Where you at with that?
In a good place, I feel like. It's not perfect. So we passed the Woodline Housing Ordinance that gives protection to people who currently live there. But there's also a line in there that says right of first refusal, which means if you got displaced from the community, there'll be opportunities for you to come back. And so September 11th, we'll have a big community resource fair. Lakeside Alliance, Hire 360, and Chicago Women in Trade are working together around those jobs. And so we're going to bring them together with Kennedy King. The coalition, I was a part of the CBA coalition, which was never against the OPC. It was, we didn't want to be displaced. We know anytime a large development comes to a community, usually Black and brown folks, low income and working families get displaced. And so I'm not saying we stop in gentrification, but we're having a different conversation about what development looks like in communities that have been neglected. And so it hasn't been an easy walk. It's actually been very difficult to get people to understand the type of predators that are preying on the community right now. And so it hasn't been easy, but working with the community probably makes it the best. And so it gets us what we need for our community.
Alderman, I'm first of all, there's absolutely nothing in my estimation that we could do to stop the Obama Center, and I'm not in the stop it. And I noticed you mentioned gentrification. I don't know that I'm so much against gentrification. It just seems as though when gentrification happens and the neighborhood gets better, that we seem to have to leave as part of the plan. How are we participating economically in this rebuilding? Because I still feel like once they put the Obama Center in, 10 blocks south of that is where the South Side will start. So I'm still a little bit skeptical. What assurances do you have that we will be able to stay?
Making sure when they're using our TIF dollars and zoning that they actually hire us. So the Friends and Family Clinic that's going on 63rd and Cottage, they are going to have a storefront with a parking garage. The agreement with the developer was that those 3 businesses have to actually be for people in our community. And so we've given a lot of input. We want to make sure that people are employed on the site. And so we're having job fairs. I'm in my office every Thursday from 12 to 7:30 so that people can come in and apply for those jobs. So it's us really pushing to say, hey, yes, come. But we going to work here. We gonna be able to get these jobs. And that's not an easy task in this city. And so it's really pushing folks and getting it in writing. Don't just tell me you're going to do it. I need to see on the dotted line. And so, of course, developers don't like that. But that's what it is in the community. There's a community development team made up of community members in my community. And they get to talk to developers the same time I do. So it's not this one-off or a backroom deal. It's you meet with me with community members, and then it goes out to a community vote, which 50 folks in the community and a 0.5-mile radius of that development get to vote and say yay or nay. And so People were skeptical. They're starting to really pay into it, but this is how you bring your community to the table. This job is hard, and it's not a one person job, and so you need your community to be a part of it. And Black folks have been silenced a lot when it comes to spending their own money in their own community. And so I'm an organizer. I ain't no politician. And so this is my way of organizing around what the community, wants to see. Now, some of us, we think because we make a few more dollars than others, that we just need to develop the community, and that's that. We're tired of vacant lots. I am too, but just know I might be 2 paychecks away from being homeless, but you're probably one. And so gentrification don't care who it takes over. Greed has no end. And so let us not do this class thing, which I will say that's one of the biggest problems in the war. And it ain't really, it's class, but it's this homeowners against renters thing. Like, I'm a renter because I choose to be. I've been in this place for almost 13 years. If I wanted to buy, I would. Just not interested in it. And so even making opportunity for people to become homeowners, folks with HUD subsidies, because HUD has a program. And so it's all this moving pieces to making sure that the people who currently live here get to stay. And I hear you saying, you want the gentrification stuff, just not the gentrification.
I just don't want the gentrifiers, right? I want their money, right? And I want them to help us make our community better and show them how they can get their cut, right? But get on, right? Like, I feel like I'd love to. The fact of the matter is, our lack of access to capital is what really prevents us from being able to build better communities. And my thought is, hey, y'all, we can show y'all how y'all get y'all mortgage. We'll pay the loan back, but you don't get to put the money in and then give it to us and then take it back, and then at the end you own everything. It's almost like they do the rent to own program with us, and then we miss a payment, and it almost feels like we're buying our community on contract, right? And then you miss a payment, and then they take everything, and they be like, you messed up and you blew it. And it's not that we just don't always have the economics. Alderman,
we ain't talk the game. They're a family. The Home Depot that's on 87th Street, it's 5 Black families that own their land. They're renting it to Home Depot. And so we ain't taught about those lots. We found out at the last minute about the lots. And so when you learn what the game is and how you could profit off of it, you teach it to other people. So I'm always telling community members, hey, if you can buy that lot that's up the street from you, purchase it, because you can sell it back in 5 years. Like,
that don't sound real socialist to you.
I believe in public power. That's what a socialist is. I believe in public power. Like, we get into the thing about the socialists. Listen, we paying for everything. How is it other countries can have health care for free, and we one of the richest countries in the world, and we can't? It's some stuff we can do.
Alderman, I was just saying the other day, I think they smoked our reparations over in Afghanistan. And right now they took all our money over to Afghanistan. They smoked it up. Now they coming back talking about we can't get no reparations. I don't know, man.
I don't understand why we can't mind our own business.
We got a lot of business to mind, as if you ask me.
Not our monkey.
All right, Alderman, I got another one for you. I'm gonna move on. Today is the funeral of Officer French. She died tragically in the West Lawn community, which they at one point were calling West Englewood. Mm-hmm. It was interesting when she was murdered that some kind of way the blame seemed to be shifted to you and your caucus. The socialist, I think they referred to you as socialists or commies. Nick Spazzato, I ain't gonna lie. I like to talk to people who just do it in the raw. They ain't trying to hide who they are. Nick Spazzato does not try to hide who he is. He was like, the commies it's all because of the commies. Alderman, I was saying that there seems to be somewhere in the world they place a higher value on the life of police officers as compared to the lives of so many people. So I sit here and I do the ratio every week. I say 72 and 10, 52 and 12, right? And it's how many people got shot versus how many people were killed, right? And so in the weekend that the officer was shot, it was actually a 45 and 10 weekend, which was really a good, if you look at what we have, it was really a good weekend. But there seems to be the perception that there should be more emphasis in solving the crimes when it is the life of an officer. As a matter of fact, this crime was solved within 2 hours. They had everybody all the way to the gun, all the way to the person who purchased the gun in Indiana. Within 24 hours, everything was solved, packaged, and wrapped up. They blamed the shooting of the police on you and your caucus. Help me understand how they made that connection and how you responded.
Because we want accountability. As to what you said, when the police get killed, it's solved in 2.5 seconds. But we got folks whose entire family generation have died and they still don't know who killed their relatives. And so it's the tale of two cities again. And so because we want people to be held accountable, how many police officers in the United States history have been indicted and spent time in jail for killing a black or a brown person?
They just want to make it, hold on, Alderman, but they would tell us that they just want to make it home safe to their families. If you complete the sentences, which is, that's why I killed that ninja. But I need to understand, why does it feel as though there is a, like the mayor said, hug a police officer after this was happened. And I was thinking to myself, how many, we done seen how many children die this year. I don't understand this whole thing that's going on. I'm sorry. Go back into it. You finish. I apologize.
So it's okay, because a lot of us go from car to casket. How hard is that? How many of us go from car to casket? I'll wait. And so this is about accountability. We ain't saying that police are this or police are that, but it's funny how when they do something, it's justified. Look at Adam Toledo, who you saw drop whatever he had in his hand. And he still got shot. You shot to kill that child. He ain't the first. And so the thought that could happen, the problem is accountability. The police are not above the law. And don't get me wrong, I got 3 black commanders and a bunch of black officers that I see on a daily basis. And I remember during the riots, me telling them, look, this stuff is insured. Go home to your families. And we never talk about how bad black officers have it. So you in the middle of Black Lives Matter and then back to blue. How hard is that for them? And so this whole notion about police, listen, we ain't living in a world where we could just say, fire all the police and we can move on. That is not our reality. But they've created these conditions. But let's not act like John Burge didn't force all of these folks to confess to murders that they didn't do. Let's not act like they tried to cover up the Laquan McDonald murder. Let's not act like Rakia Boyd was doing something she had no business doing. Let's not act like Ronnie Man Johnson, all he did was run. And so it's called accountability. And nobody has a right to take a life. I don't care who you are. You didn't give it, you shouldn't take it away. And so it's just this thing of when the police do it and then they talk about the morale is low. It's low because we got y'all on camera beating protesters who were doing absolutely nothing. I remember the George Floyd thing, and even after you saw the entire tape, people kept saying if he only comply. How much more complying did the man have to do? So the man died because of a false call around a $20 bill, and other officers stood around and watched. That's the biggest problem. And it was my problem with, and I'll stop with this. My biggest problem with Eddie Johnson when he was was, I've been in the police force for 20 years and I've never seen any corruption. Well, brother, unless you Stevie Wonder blind, it's something wrong with you.
Man, Alderman. So, Ruthie, you over there giggling, sniggling. What you got to say? What you want? You ain't got no questions for her?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Alderman, I'm thinking about what has happened with the police, and it just seems to me that the police in this situation, I cannot ever recall a time when a black person was murdered. I done lost you. I cannot recall a time, Alderman, when a black person was murdered and the police stood in solidarity, even if they knew it was wrong. Y'all, I think we lost her. Uh-oh. See, they don't be liking when we be talking that stuff. They like, she talking too much, and you know what else we gonna talk about. So we got to get her back. Alderman, we're gonna wait for Alderman Jeanette Taylor to come on back to us. I think she might have hit the wrong button and dropped off. So I'm gonna leave the room, and we're gonna come back to her. Hey y'all, this is Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. We are talking to 20th Ward Alderman Jeanette Taylor. We're waiting for her to come back. But in the meantime, I'm here to tell you, I cannot recall a time, even during the George Floyd uprisings, beyond the chiefs of police who had to make a statement, when the police were like, that was wrong. Like, it was implied, but I can't ever recall a time nobody said, go hug a black man. No, I'm just saying. Like, we watched a murder ad nauseum, and how many times have we watched these murders? Nobody has ever said, show some Anybody say hug Sandra Bland family besides black people? Uh-oh, there she go. Look like we got her back. Hold on one second. Hold on, Alderman. I'm gonna bring you right back.
Okay.
Alderman, when I went to break, I was asking, have you ever seen a time when the police, right or wrong, have stood in solidarity with black people? Like, whether it's a child being killed or anything by a police officer. When has there been a time when the police have stood with us?
I don't know that they have. You see them come to your events in the community. They do good stuff. Like I said, I'm in 4 different police districts. We got some great CAPS officers who do work. Some of the business officers do great work, but never. I haven't seen us stand aside. I've seen us work together. I've seen some good work, but I ain't never seen an officer wave the Black Lives Matter flag. That's just that's not what we are. Like, when you got a situation where you got somebody from the fire department who takes down the Black Lives Matter flag that had nothing to do with him, that was minding his own business, what type of solidarity is there? But I'll tell you what, one of the greatest comedians, Paul Mooney, said, and he's one of my favorites, either we gonna hang together or we gonna hang together.
I gotta say that it was tragic what happened to those 2 officers.
Definitely.
I think that there is a reaction in our community that is not, I said this last week. It's not sorry, but right, because it's like, we know that it was bad what happened, but we also know that the same police officers that we are mourning for would watch Laquan McDonald be shot. We never saw police officers say that was wrong. Like, they might have whispered that was wrong, but they never stood up and said, man, go hug his uncle, go hug his family, go be with those people, because that was tragic. It was, he just wanted to get home to his family, which is, that's why like, nobody else wants to get home to their family. It's crazy to me. Now, Alderman, you are also, so here goes the last one, because I'm gonna ask you to speak on this. You represent the Woodlawn community, where the Chicago police have asked for the King Von mural that is on it's on the Parkway Food Store. It's on the side of the Parkway Food Store. The police are asking for the mural to be removed. Yesterday, I started this conversation. I really didn't realize it was as hot a topic as it is. But I posted it, and it just went crazy. There are opinions all over the place. Talk to me about the King Von mural, your thoughts, And should it be removed or moved? Talk to me about it. What's going on? First of all, just break down the situation, what's going on, and then tell us your thoughts on it.
So, of course, we all know King Von was a rapper.
Stop.
Who
No, we
called
don't.
Parkway.
No, we don't.
Right.
Everybody does not know that.
So King Von was a rapper who grew up in Parkway, which him and other young people in that community named O Block. King Von was killed in Atlanta, I want to say last summer, if I'm not mistaken.
Back up.
And so,
stop. Why did they name it? Why did they name the block O Block?
Now that maze, I don't know.
Okay, so
I
I know. Ruthie, check me if I'm wrong.
It was named after somebody that got shot, Odie.
Odie, and right. Okay, so was that?
Okay.
That's not has nothing to do with Tuka.
That's Tukaville
is the opposite. Is the
place? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Alderman. Tell me some more.
So it's called O Block. I never knew why it was called O Block because, of course, I'm in my late 40s. I can't say that I know a King Von song. I'm sorry, I don't. And so this young man, the store owner, watched King Von grow up. And so he took a picture of King Von before he died. And so to pay honor to this young man, and people don't talk about King Von took his community with him. He employed people. Now, whether you like his music or not, there's a whole bunch of other music that people don't like. He fed folks from the community. He employed some of the guys that lived in there, and they respect him. And so his birthday was last week, Monday, and somebody actually drove past and shot into Parkway, which is nothing new. So I don't want us to act like that shootings don't happen in Parkway. The narrative, though, is people from Parkway. And almost all the time, it's not the people in Parkway. It's folks who come to Parkway and shoot in. At any rate, this mural went up, and I received 10 phone calls, and a lot of them were for community stakeholders, and some were the police. Commander called me, the sergeant called me and was like, they want it down. And I was like, the harmless mural where he's sitting smiling with his fingers up, he ain't throwing up no gang signs. He's actually looked like he's sitting in a CPS chair.
He is sitting in a CPS chair.
Exactly. And so I don't believe in dictatorship. I believe in democracy. And so I wanted to have this conversation around taking the mural down. But to me, wouldn't they be asking us in the 50s to take a picture of Malcolm X down? This is silencing art, because that's what this is, art. And young people have a lot of respect for King Von and what he stood for. But for me, when I put it in context, he ain't no different than NWA. You all are mad because he's talking about the life that he lives and the struggle he had. What did NWA say? Fuck the police. And they told you why they felt that way.
We on the church station right now. Go ahead. The saints forgive me. Go ahead.
That was what they said. And so their murals up of Tupac and Biggie. And they both were murdered. We asked them to take those down. And so this is a tale of the broken generations. And I always go back to this. There's a song by Marvin Gaye called You Sure Love to Ball. And he ain't talking about basketball. He ain't talking about soccer ball. He ain't talking about football. And so he ain't singing nothing different than his experience. And so I asked people to vote around it. It was supposed to be a vote for people who lived in a 0.5 mile radius of the mural. But of course, we got at least 2,000 texts to say that they want the mural up. And so
Shorty's run the digital world. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yes,
you ain't beating them. You ain't beating them on the digital space. Period.
I promise you. It's why they not on Facebook no more. They rarely on Facebook. It's why they created Snapchat and everything else. They know we not working, and they know we not working on. But at the end of the day, this man and the store owner himself is scared. He's gotten a lot of traffic. The young lady who wanted to bring forth this, and it was her idea, she's gotten death threats. And so it's like all over a picture, over a mural. It's like, when do we get to a space where we learn to understand each other? And I always say, elders play an important role in what we do in the community because they'll help us not repeat their mistakes. But they also got to be open to listen because we ain't talking about how this generation has been neglected. And that's another whole show. And so there's some ownership there. But I feel like the mural is harmless. I've seen people come there and take pictures. Somebody sent me a post about Lil Durk, who was supposed to be, I guess, in competition with him.
No, they on the same crew. They in the same crew.
Okay, so he
They
came
both
and took
OTF.
pictures. See, that show you how much I know. Listen, when I'm sitting in the car with my kids, I have to ask them what they talking about in the songs. Because there's a song where he say, I don't like bees, I don't like guys, I don't like nobody. And I'm thinking, well, brother, if you don't like nobody, who buying your album? And so that's me. I'm in my late 40s. And so how I see music and see things are different. But will we be asking to take a picture of Martin down? And don't act like
I
Malcolm
gotta
didn't
ask you.
have.
I gotta hold on, because I gotta jump in right there.
Okay.
You compared. Are we literally comparing King Von to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X? I'm just asking. I'm asking. Are we saying that they're on the same plateau that they had? Is that what we saying?
Nope. What I'm saying is, was Malcolm X always Malcolm X?
So that's part of my question.
Did not have any problems. So okay,
but we don't put up a picture of Detroit Red. We don't put up a picture of Detroit Red. We put up a picture of
Red.
Okay, so that was part of what I was asking about earlier today, right? Which is, when do you become your adult you, right? And I think we often fall in love with our potential, not necessarily our reality. And I'm not going to put that on King Von. I'm going to tell you that the people that say, man, I like him now, if you were to ask them 20 years ago who I was, I could have stuck him up. I could have done any types of things. And if I never made it to here, then you judge me on where I was at. Now, I'm not tripping at all. I haven't come to a recognition. I haven't come to kind of where I feel about this. And I would even go to, when you use the NWA example, I listened to NWA without a doubt. I was out there when Tupac was like FC Dolores Tucker, when Calvin Butts was running over the tapes and the CDs and stuff in our in front of the churches and all that stuff. I remember all of it, and I remember being a young person, right? And being like, these people don't. If you were to ask me about the outgrowth of NWA now, like if I knew now what I knew then, and that's where the elder piece of it comes in. I still listen to NWA, but I will tell you that a lot of NWA as a young person took me there was a soundtrack playing in my mind as I was doing the things, whether it was Mobb Deep, whether it was, and so I just don't know if we can put all that in the same spot. I haven't come to my conclusion as to where, but when I see videos that say 64 dead ops, and we literally talking about 64 dead people, and I'm not saying that's his song, I just gotta ask, just because we can, is it good for us, and is it good, healthy for our community? It's rhetorical, but I do gotta ask that piece of it.
So for me, I was a 19-year-old single mother. I was kicked out of the church. And no, I can't say I was kicked out of the church. I was put out the choir. I couldn't be an usher. I couldn't attend any of those things for something at the time that I thought was beautiful. You know, you watch TV, you want to get married and have those kids. And I did those things without getting married. Does that change who I am today? But I also don't hide from what my lived experience is. And I don't hide from about who I am. I tell people all the time, I graduated from night school and I went to Dawson Tech and barely got a certificate. I'm still Alderman Jeanette Taylor. I'm still the person that went on the 34-day hunger strike. I'm still the person that, since I've been 19 years old, I've been organizing in schools, and that's not what I call it. And so, but you can learn from my lived experience. And so, are we upset at King Von for talking about his lived experience? Now, he talks about selling drugs. He talks about all of the problems in the community. He talks about killing. Nobody is saying that that's right. but that's his lived experience. To see, we so busy, we want a rainbow technicolor stuff. That's his reality of living in Parkway. There was a young lady on the call who said, I don't know why we having this meeting. We need to talk about what's behind the gates, not what's outside of the gates. We still having problems. And she is absolutely right. Why is this even a conversation? But it's also, there are a bunch of conversations that we need to have. And so for me, it comes down to democracy and us having the conversation. When they saw the crime of police getting killed in 2.5 seconds, all these folks were in a roar. But it's the same thing we all talked about in our living rooms. We all talked about it at work. We all say it. I'm just brave enough to say it out loud. And for me, I've heard from young people in Parkway who said, like, they talking bad about King Von, but King Von did this. King Von did that. And so who gets to decide who our heroes are? Who gets to decide what art is? Who gets to decide this was a young man's life and why did it turn this way? Let's have that real conversation about it. And so that's what it is for me. And I'll say again, other than King Von living in Parkway and some of the things I heard, I didn't know the young man. I didn't, but this still is a life lost, which is wrong. And so for me, the man who put it, or who the store owner who allowed it, was just paying honor to a young man he watched grow up.
Ma'am, I think it's art, right? So I think that murals are murals are murals. I don't necessarily know, because if I didn't know who King Von was, I'd drive by it and be like, oh, that was pretty cool, right? I think it's a great piece of art. I am curious when we say how do we pick our heroes, right? It's just interesting, because it's funny to see that the police say that they're heroes every day. It's like almost like I almost feel like we got the Robin Hood kind of sort of mentality. And it's all good. I want to have this conversation, Alderman, and I appreciate you giving the community the option, right? Because I think there's two different sets of people, right? There's the people that live it and are in the life. There's the people that are forced to live it, right? In the life that exists. And I was thinking about a lot of people who was like, let it stay up, let it stay up, let it stay up. Don't necessarily and wouldn't necessarily send their kids or want their kids to have the same experience. And so it's oftentimes interesting to me when we'll pull up stakes and go somewhere else and then be like, let them have it, because I don't want that, but everybody should do it. And I almost feel like it's a let them eat cake mentality, because we'll tell in certain communities, we'll allow and we'll glorify and we'll say, but I don't want that existence for my children. Right, so we pull up and we go to the suburbs or we go wherever, and then we can rah and flag and be like, let them do it, and it's like, but I just don't want that for my kids. And so I just think it's a real interesting scenario, and I appreciate just being able to have the conversation, and we're gonna continue it. Ruthie, I know you got something to say. Come on now. She about to talk about how old I am.
No, I think to me it's okay. I'm just gonna be completely honest.
Come on.
I don't want to talk about the King Von mural. I want to talk about the conditions in our communities that made King Von even rap about the stuff he was rapping about. I want to talk about the record companies that promote the music. So I think all this outrage is misplaced, and I wish we would use this same energy to provide some type of resources and some type of guidance and mentorship to these young people.
So let's do that in the next break. We're going to talk about it when we come back. Alderman Jeanette Taylor, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. You know you're my best friend in my head, always giving us something to think about. What you got to tell the people before you go?
It's to what the young sister said. He's rapping about some conditions that we've allowed to happen. And the folks who own Parkway is related Midwest.
Who about to get the casino? Who about to be rich again? Who about to get the $1 billion development? And then was talking about they was going to sell it.
But when we started talking about co-opting it and getting people to co-manage it, they didn't want to hear it, because that was my proposal. Folks in that community, if they had ownership, and it was once a co-op, if they got co-op and had a management company, just the management, it would change the game. But when I started talking that and other electeds was on board with me, they pulled it off the market.
Remember that time I told you about the guy from Related Midwest who tried to cut me out, right? He was like, you shouldn't make no profit. He said you paid $30,000 for it. Now, they was around here buying things for millions and 20s and 30s of millions. And he was like, why should that Negro get that money? We'll wait him out and we'll get it back. And I just think, like, there is a connection to all of this. There is a interwoven connection to all of it. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more when we come back. Alderman Taylor, I got to tell you how much I appreciate having you on air. Thank you for coming on. And, we're going to have to get you a regular segment, or you're going to either have to do your own podcast and do your own thing down here, because it's like we need that energy. And if Reese says, could you send your Cash App? Because he want to send you a donut. He want to send you an offering, because he is worshiping at the feet of Alderman Jeanette Taylor, who is my best friend in my head. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you, sis.
Y'all have a good day and be safe.
All right. Hey, y'all, that is the Maze Jackson Show. That's my girl, Alderman Jeanette Taylor, my best friend in my head. I think y'all on to something that I think you all are on to something with the conditions that led there. I was just thinking about how I used to say we're dancing to our demise? It's almost like I wonder, how do we get to the root of it? And I think there's two things, right? Because I think there's the immediacy of what's actually happening on the ground, and then there is the infrastructure that feeds that, right? Remember when I told y'all about Lear Cohen going to YouTube, and he was the dude who offered Chief Keef the multi-million, and it became the path out, and then he kind of whipped this whole thing up into a frenzy. You don't necessarily hear this same type of stuff on the white stations, right? You don't really see it pushed into their communities. And if it is, there's an understanding that there is an understanding for their youth that that's a movie. And I feel like for us, it's promoted as a reality.
Because it is the reality of some of our children and some of us in our communities. But we don't want to talk about that.
We can. Let's talk about it when we come back. Let's take a quick break. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll take a quick break because I talked through my bathroom break. And then we'll be back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIIFTBP. Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop, located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:54 a.m. and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports weather and traffic update. In sports, the Chicago Cubs finished their series up against the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati. The Cubs will homer 3 times and beat the Reds 7-1 as they make that 2 in a row now. The Chicago White Sox beat the Oakland A's. Robert will get 3 hits and 2 RBIs, and the Sox will win 3-2. On the traffic, on the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop is 33 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare is 28. Eden inbound from Deerfield to Exchange is 40. Exchange to Deerfield will be 32. Eisenhower. Thorndale to the Loop is 48. Accident on the way back, so back to Thorndale will be 60. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 42 minutes. Outbound will be 34. The Bishop Ford from I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 37 minutes, 29 minutes back out to I-80. On the Dan Ryan is 22 minutes to the Loop, 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive. South side is 7 minutes, 55th to Jackson, Jackson to 55th. The north side is still 8. That's Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 76, and today will be a high of 82 with a low of 72. Now, I'm Reese the Ruler. That was your sports weather and traffic update. Now, back to the baddest show in the land. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to jump right back into the conversation. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my homie. Well, I can't even call my homie. I got to say Miss Ruthie Moore. Ruthie is like, she over it all. Plus.
I'm not over it all. I just, we always reacting. That's my issue. We be reacting.
DJ Reese the Ruler in the building, and let's talk about it. So I want to go back. Let's start with the, I don't want to say the violence. Can we say that? Well, how do we start with this conversation? What are the conditions that create a King Von? Let's say that, can we say that it's long-term disinvestment? Back up. Are there a unique set of conditions that have created what we know as O Block and, let's say, Tukaville? Let's just use those two as the examples. I know that there's more places.
Yes.
Drill is everywhere.
Yes, and there's an infrastructure, a capitalistic infrastructure set up that supports it. And we so far gone.
So let me back up. Have we always been in this place?
Yes. Black people have been exploited for a long time. These are talented young people. They've been exploiting our talents.
I'm backing up, though. Would we say that any of what role? So let me back up, because I feel like I got that. I get the whole, how has life changed? Have we always been, has this level of violence always existed for Black folks within our communities? Reese, you're saying yes. So it wasn't different for your grandmother?
Probably, I mean, she
yes or
lived
no?
a different type of, you know what I'm saying, like hers was like lynching and everything, but it was still the same type of violence, but like it's the same thing.
But if it was lynching, they was getting lynched by Black people?
No, by white people, but I mean it was still violence. Like I think like now what it is we so quick to like judge the youth, but it's like I thought you learned how to become like who you are from your upbringing. So when you blame the youth, my question is where was you? Where are the older people blaming the youth?
First of all, I'm not blaming anybody.
No, like I'm just saying, like that's when they be like, I blame the youth. How do they learn? You know what I'm saying? It's a disconnect. All I hear is older people say, these kids so far gone. So you already then gave up on the youth, and now you sitting in your comfortable chair talking about it's the youth out here, but you out here doing nothing to help the youth. In my life, I grew up in the hood all the time. Mm-hmm. So like when I was first born, I grew up in like a neighborhood. You was either a gangbanger or you got beat up. It was the only two choices that you had, and that's why we had to move, because my brother was getting picked on by the gang and said, either man, you gonna get beat up every day or you gonna be a vice lord. So so that's how it is.
So he made the right choice. Let me stop. I'm silly. I'm just playing. All right, I'm just playing. Okay, cool out. Thank you everybody to WBGX for rocking with us. We're going to continue this conversation on the Maze Jackson page, as well as on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook, as well as we're going to continue this conversation on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It's interesting to me because I feel like we got blended narratives. right? Do we have more to be concerned with directly now? Like, I feel like it's one thing to be worried about a white person lynching you. And it's another thing to be concerned about the conditions that have created people that don't necessarily see you as, they see you as team or ops. I also think that it's interesting. So your parents chose to move, Reese?
Yeah.
Why not stay in the neighborhood and work through it? What were your parents doing to make sure that the community didn't do that? Like, who came outside and said, "Nah, y'all not gonna do that, and we're gonna stand up and we're gonna fight for our community, and we're gonna fight for our son, and we're not gonna move. We're not gonna give up our neighborhood."
Actually,
can't win.
To be honest, my grandmother, swear to you, my grandmother will get 2 church buses, and she took the whole block to Sunday school and to
Did it work?
Bible class. Some did, but this is right off. Come on, man, this block's still going. This is on Ferdinand and Springfield. You know, if you know that area, then you know it. Like, it's still going. It was that block. I literally lived on the corner. It's kind of like no saving, but the people she could, cause she didn't just say these, like my grandma didn't judge nobody. She allowed them to say, "Hey, you know what? Let's come to church. Let's try something like different and stuff like that." So we tried, but at certain, it was like no saving it. The ones we could, we did, but the other ones, like, but they also
are there unsavable? Are there unrescuable, unsavable people in your mind?
Yeah, because they're groomed in that tradition. Like I know cousins that their daddy was gangbangers, their whole family gangbangers, and it's like I'm gonna be a gangbanger. Like as a kid, he like this is me, and he's still riding around with like guns and stuff. It's no saving him until he wants to be saved. I can't save him.
All right, we're gonna talk about it some more when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Ruthie, and Reese. I'm gonna try and get educated over this break. Not over this break, but when we come back. Let's get some music, some news, some traffic, and some weather.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIIFTBP. Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
They
to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
People, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, as well as DJ Reese the Ruler, y'all. And I want to get further into this conversation. I have not come to my conclusion. I'm not for taking down the mural. I'll put it that way. But I am not also for ignoring the consequences of what could happen. Now, Ruthie and I were just having a really interesting conversation on the break. And Ruthie, I think, can you elaborate? We were talking about, because my concern is that I don't know if we know or are willing to acknowledge right or wrong, or maybe I just have a different understanding. It's like Reese just told me that you had to move out of a neighborhood because of a certain lifestyle, right? Because of the mentality that existed there. Is that a good thing? Was that a good thing? I mean, I understand it is how it is. And I guess my question is, how do we get there? And how do we get out of it? And how do we get to a point where I don't, like, is it aspirational? Is King Von aspirational? Ruthie, you said yes to some people. Yes?
No, I think it's capitalism. So why wouldn't King Von be aspirational? Because that's what we aspire to in our culture. Everything boils down to capitalism and getting it out the mud. And that's exactly what he did.
Is there a difference if you get it out the mud and part of that involves the death of black people as a black person? Right? I have no doubt that white folks whoop us. They have taken advantage of us, etc. Have we learned that we should do it the same way with them as they do?
Man, that's why capitalism don't necessarily work for us. Because it's exploitive.
So how do we get to a point where we as a people feel like that is that an aspirational lifestyle?
What, having money?
No, I'm saying is it as a parent
having money?
No, are you suggesting that's? I think it's more than that. I think that King Von had money, but I would say he had more influence than he had money.
But not only did he have money, but he was sharing that money.
To do what?
With his, I don't know what he, Maze, I wasn't in his pockets. I don't know what he was doing with his money, but I know he was giving it to his people. Hand-to-hand transactions.
Got you. So there is a point to me where we're either going to, so how do we fix the situation?
I think the only way we can fix the situation is to see ourselves in a King Von. And the minute that we keep disassociating ourselves, we just gonna put our heads down and drive right past, possibly lead a community, or it's possibly not be able to even see him and see them when they are young as young people that should be nurtured.
Is there a point of, so is there any good, or is it this is a very peculiar conversation for me, because I'm gonna tell you like this. I feel like the people that say it's okay often don't necessarily have to live that space, and they say, shoot, not my kids, so that's fine, you can do it over there. Like, and I think that what we see oftentimes is we will allow that to be a certain lifestyle to be promoted in our community. It's detrimental to our community.
But you know what the difference is, Maze? Because I'm pretty sure your young people listen to drill music.
But they have a baseline.
I'm pretty sure they are influenced by drill culture. The difference between them and some other young people is that they got a daddy. They got a good daddy. They got resources. They ain't necessarily got to go live that lifestyle if they don't want to. It's a lot of young people that's listening to this music that this is all they know. This is what they consider to be their lifestyles, their cultures.
That doesn't make it okay.
No, it's not. It's horrible. It's not
That's
okay.
my point.
But the difference is that your kids they can escape it.
That's not my point.
But that's a huge issue with it though.
What I am suggesting though is I recognize whether you can escape it or not. But that
makes all the difference though.
I'm telling you
because
why.
the music is still there. The music ain't going nowhere. And if we ain't willing to talk about the way that the music gets from the street through distribution, through all these different channels, we ain't willing to talk about. Like, that's what we need to be talking about.
I think we can talk about both. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that there are two issues going on. It's really two issues going on. I say this all the time. We have an external threat and we have an internal threat. And the external threat, if we allow the internal threat to eat us alive, by the time we are able to fight the external threat, we will not have the defense to do it.
Well, then, see, that's why I said, everybody keeps saying we can walk and chew gum at the same time, but obviously we can't. If we can't attack the internal and the external, which one comes first? Do we need to attack the external threat or do we need to attack the internal threat? I say, how about we nurture the babies first? Can we start there instead of blaming them?
I'm saying that there's a point. I think that we have to acknowledge that there's something wrong.
We do. We live it.
No.
How is it that you turn on some of these radio stations at 8:00 in the morning and they playing this stuff? That's a problem.
I got that.
That is a direct threat to neutralize against. Can we take back our culture?
But let me back up. So the radio station, so does the music have influence that they're playing on the radio?
Maze, you just said that at 40 years old, you switched from a 4.0 to a 4.5 because Jay-Z said it.
That's my point.
So come on now, you know it's influencing these babies.
So my question then becomes, so at the same time, while it's being influenced, how do we stop what's happening to us?
Hey, radio station, we out here.
We know the kids don't listen to the radio. Let's say YouTube.
But that is still a part of the larger external threat. I could see if it would be different if we owned our culture and we was able to sell it to white people. How are we letting them sell our stuff back to us and then they bastardizing it? And you see who's suffering. We are suffering because we don't got a handle on our culture. It's all fun and games when you can listen to Jay-Z and bop your head. Jay-Z a billionaire now. He ain't really necessarily rapping about serving as much as like he used to. But it's still the same thing. It's easy for people to profit off of our pain. And we profiting off of our children's pain. There's a whole market, industry set up for these young people. So now it's a chicken or the egg. What come first? Is it the kids getting the money off living this lifestyle, or is it the kids living this lifestyle and rapping about it? We done got the game so twisted that these kids coming up and aspiring to get these record deals. So they
That's my point,
So they
though.
out here putting in work on the streets just so they can rap about it to get the record deals. And you trying to tell me that we can walk and chew gum at the same time? Obviously we can't. So which one we gonna go after? What we gonna do? We gonna put our arms around the babies, or we gonna attack the system that done set up this capitalistic structure that's causing so much destruction in our communities? But it's too many people eating off that, though. Too many people eating off that.
So here's my thought. My thought is that we have to start setting a standard, right? And I feel like this. I'm okay with all of that. But if we just saw, how do you get back to those homes? How do you get, because I feel like this, right? Like, I feel like we recognize there is a great problem, but the immediacy of what is happening right now, right? The immediacy of what is happening right now, like, yo, mugs are getting shot. We at the highest level of violence even since the 90s now. And I guess I feel like we act like there is no connection to all of this stuff. I feel like it's a complete ecosystem. Not debating on it, but I am suggesting that there seems to me to be an unwillingness to acknowledge that we got a real problem.
No, I think we recognize we got a real problem. The problem is we ain't willing to do what it takes to stop the problem.
What does it take?
We gotta get back control over our culture, and can we start there? If we ain't even got to start with capitalism, even though it's gonna come down to capitalism, but can we at least start by getting control over our culture?
Which is what?
Getting control over our culture.
Which is what?
Who influences the culture? It's normally the young people. So we gotta make sure our young people are healthy.
How do we make them healthy?
We need stronger families. More of us have to be willing to mentor. And I know people say, well, everybody ain't supposed to be mentoring, doing all this, but more of us have to be willing to mentor. So sometimes, you know what, you might have to hit them streets, and everybody is not equipped for that. Everybody's not capable. Everybody's not willing, but more of us have to be willing, because we already know that our families are broken. We know we got broken families. So we got to put the emphasis back on creating healthy families. And if we know some of these parents out here ain't doing their jobs, then that's where the village step in. What happened to the village? What happened to me seeing myself in these young people? It's not their faults most of the time. And we could blame the parents, whatever, fine and dandy. But that still ain't got the daddy back in the home. That still don't got the mama making better decisions about who she lay down with.
Where does that come from?
So what we gonna do? We gonna just let these kids keep on rotting? No. It's the village concept. Some parents are failing.
Do we really have a village?
No, enough of us are too many of us are unwilling to do the village concept, which means that in spite of this young person's mama or daddy not being on the up and up, I'm still gonna step in. More of us have to be willing to do that.
See, I feel like we got to acknowledge that there's a problem, though.
That's what we doing, Maze.
No, Ruthie, I'm saying we are. I don't think that we acknowledge that there's a problem, though.
I think we do.
I don't.
Many of us feel helpless to stop it. And most of the time, most of us chasing capital ourselves, and we don't even got time.
Because we so down so bad.
Because we be down so bad.
But I feel like there is a lack of acknowledgement that we got a problem. Like, I think that we'll say it's not my job. Like, if you talk to the radio station, they'll say it's music, it's lifestyle. It's not my job to raise your kids.
Exactly. But that.
Has this always been the case?
No.
When did it change?
We used to,
When did it change? Don't get mad. I'm just asking. When did it change? Is it the crack era? And I'm asking this because, this strangely seems like what they predicted would happen. Right? I'm not tripping, but when we hear the word super predator, right? And I'm suggesting that they knew what the outcome of the experiment was. They knew what the outcome of the crack era would be, and Hillary Clinton told you about it 20 years ago, and we know there's a problem. And I just saw Eric say, we been gone, but like, where did it go? Like, and when I was asking Reese earlier, was it always this way? I don't feel like it was always this way. I don't feel like there was always a complete disregard for our lives amongst us. And I'm not saying it's completely that way. But I think that I don't know that there was ever anybody killers. Everybody. What is it, EBK? Everybody killers? I don't know that there was a everybody can get it mentality in our community. Now, there were always individuals that were that way, but I feel like it has become almost pervasive. And if you go into certain concentrated areas, that's the way it is. Now, how do we get in there? So is it that the men of Phi Beta Sigma go and start to go, like realistically, no, you making that face. Why you make that face?
Maze, you already let's not bring the Divine Nine up in this, because you already know we've been having mentoring programs. How effective have they been if we having this conversation right now?
I would say that it depends on what you look at. It depends on your measurement tool. I would say that we often get measured by Parkway more than we get measured by the people that have made it out of there.
Agreed.
I would say that the measurement, the standard is realistically in our space not to be, you're not going.
It's the get it out the mud mentality that we love so much. I told you, I don't want to walk 5 miles to go to school. I shouldn't have to. But we value that. You value that.
No, I value work and dedication, right? I value that to become an expert, you don't wake up and say, I'm the expert today. I value that if you're going to be an expert, you got to put the 10,000 hours in. I do. I don't think that you just get to wake up and say, I've decided that I'm equivalent to you and that you haven't.
But we living in a get rich quick society.
Some people, the young people are. Those people are.
No. We living in a get rich quick society.
If you 50, you ain't living in a get rich quick society.
Yeah, because y'all, it was a system set up for y'all that if y'all worked at a job for 20 years, you could leave and be straight. We ain't got that no more. So guess what we got to do? We got to get it quick because tomorrow ain't promised. That's the YOLO mentality.
See, but the YOLO mentality is also part of. But the YOLO mentality is part of where we're at right now. Because so we're saying we got to get it quick because we don't expect to make it past 25.
Not just make it past 25, but we look past 25. We looking at the 50 and 60-year-olds, and we still see that we ain't got nothing. So how you gonna try to say, oh, just wait your turn? Wait for what? What we waiting on? Y'all ain't finna pass nothing down. So guess what we gotta do now? We gotta get it.
That's interesting.
And that's what most of these kids out here doing. They trying to get it. They getting it for their mamas. They getting it for their aunties. Just trying to get their people out. Remember, that's what we do. We try to get out. We have a concept of leaving. We try to get out. I want to buy my mama a house. Ain't that the narrative? Take my family to Disney.
It depends on who.
So you got these kids that now are responsible. So because we have fatherless homes, and you know, most of the time that extra income is helping. Now we got these young kids out here that's having to take care of their families. So you really think mama gonna say, hey, don't rap about that? Because guess what? That check cashed nicely. It's a whole system set up for us to sell our children to these record labels with the hopes that you're gonna be able to make a little bit of money.
Yeah, I feel like that's in certain places though. I think it's in certain communities, and I think that there is I guess my question is, so how do you get the
Let me put a basketball in this kid's hand. Guess what? Because we finna make it out. That's how.
I don't know if everybody is. And I think that, quite frankly,
Maze, who ain't looking for a ticket? Nobody. No, who wants to live in poverty?
Who lives in poverty? Don't take your headphones off. I'm saying this is interesting to me, right? Because I feel like somewhere in this space, we know what's happening. But I don't know that. I almost feel like we've bought into it. And so if you've bought into it, from your mother to your father, there's no more influence that I'm going to have. I don't think that there is any. I think I listen to all the same. No, Ruthie. Ruthie, I listen to.
You just said that you switched from a 4.0 to a 4.5. And I'm pretty sure that your mom and your daddy would have been like, don't spend that money. But Jay-Z had more influence over you than your parents at 40.
No. He had influence on my car decision at 40.
Man, that impacts your pockets in a major way.
If you got the money, if you got it, it ain't tricking though. That's not my point.
See, you just really just put a bow on this conversation.
What?
That is that
if you ain't got it ain't tricking.
Not just that, but that it's the mentality. If you can be influenced at 40 to spend more bread on a car, you can't tell me that then these little young people can't be influenced themselves. No matter how much your mama or your daddy influence you. And what if you ain't got no daddy?
So then you make King Von the person. And that's the example. Yes?
No. Jay-Z's, Mazes are the examples. You just said that you switched your car. Mm-hmm. So the music...
I'm not the summary of my car, though.
But the music and culture has influence. You're not the summary of your car, but oftentimes we do. We use capital and things and trinkets to elevate ourselves into positions of society.
Ruthie, you just said my point. You essentially said my point in the same thing on the King Von thing, right? Which is, again, so now this is the aspiration. Yes? Is that what we want our children to aspire to? Yes or no?
Is what the aspiration?
Is the
capital? Because it's about capital.
Is it how you get it? Does that make a difference?
Y'all, hey, we glorify getting it out the mud.
I glorify getting it out the mud from going to a legitimate job, going to work, doing my thing. I don't? Okay. I mean, I'm not hustling no more. So
no more. Come on. We be forgetting where we came from.
I don't think we forget.
But when we forget, then it's easy to blame a King Von. It's easy to say, is this what we want our kids to aspire to? But it's not just about King Von. It's the culture. The culture.
That's not my point. So I feel like when we recognize that there are things that are good for our culture and bad for our culture?
Who's the person that gets to say that? Who are the gatekeepers that we listen to? If the gatekeepers are the same people that's selling us back our culture, that's why I said we got to attack the gatekeepers. I know that it's other music that exists out there, but when I turn on these major things, I definitely can't tell.
I don't know, man. So if your mom does, I'm gonna tell you like this: if I came home and I said that I was getting ready to be XYZ, now I could tell my mom screw off, but I listen to my mom. I feel like we have, because there are extenuating circumstances. In my estimation, it feels like we have given up the concept of right and wrong between each other. And I guess I don't know that every single person that comes from Parkway or wherever has to do that. Now, I would say this. I don't know that poverty should change your values. Now, what you got to do to survive is one thing, right? I get that. I just sometimes feel like we won't even say anything is bad for us because of white supremacy. And I just don't know what are the I do. I'm confused because I don't think that we will call a spade a spade. We'll call out white supremacy, right? I'm not tripping out at all. But there is something real happening in our communities right now. And I don't know what the age of accountability is. I don't know that. Yeah, I feel like the victims are not white folks. They're not. The people that are suffering the most from whatever is happening, whether it's the crack era, whether it's us being down so bad, is us. We're suffering from it. I don't debate Ruthie is on point. But I also suggest that there's got to be a point somewhere in us that says there is I don't know if it's a spiritual awakening, but we're not right now.
It's culture. It's culture. The minute we hear white people say something about our culture, I get offended. You don't get to talk about my culture. You don't get to say nothing about my culture. But we don't have enough conversations about cultural gatekeepers. Who gets to be the gatekeepers? We don't control our culture. And until we get it back under control, the young people gonna keep running rampant, and we gonna be scared to do anything about it.
How do we get it in control?
How do we get our culture under control? Mm-hmm. First, by at least can we just acknowledge that there is that capitalism breeds a lot of this stuff. Self-hate breeds a lot of this stuff. But there's actual infrastructure set up to help our demise. And it's too many people eating and profiting off of it. So until we decide that, you know what, we're gonna go after these in a organized way, we're gonna go after these systems, then if we decide we ain't gonna do that, then we're gonna have to take it back internal and wrap our arms around the babies. In spite of. And the key word is in spite of. It don't matter if your mama ain't nothing. It don't matter if your daddy ain't nothing. It don't matter where you came from, because in spite of, I'm still gonna love you. And that's what a lot of our young people need. They just need love, somebody to talk to. But enough of us ain't willing to do that. That personal mentorship is so important. It's not easy, but that's what we gotta do. Because in spite of, and we never want to get over the spot. Well, no, in spite of. It don't matter how you ask, are all young people able to be rehabbed? If you can't even have that mentality that yes, I can take one of my young brothers and sisters and turn them into da-da-da-da-da. If I can't even see that, then it ain't even no hope for me even trying. Because my mentality already messed up. Oh, they gone. I'm about to just, I'm driving past this street.
I don't know. This is interesting. I would tell you that so much of our energy, in my estimation, is often focused against depreciating assets. I can love you and not like what you do. I can love you and recognize that what you're doing is detrimental to us all. And oftentimes I feel like we have more compassion for the shooter than the victim.
That's not true. I think you cannot separate the shooter from the systemic problems.
I think if you are the parent, you certainly can.
You can't. You cannot.
It's easy to say if you are the parent.
The parent. Which parent?
Of the child, of the victim.
That's still no. You cannot separate a shooter from the systemic problem. You can't separate a victim from a systemic problem. We live in a culture of violence.
I'm suggesting, right, that my premise is that you should be able to move around in your own neighborhood.
Agreed.
I believe that if you take a life in your own neighborhood of someone that had the potential to grow and be everything, it's like we look at the potential of the person that took it, not necessarily the potential of the person that lost it.
We look at both, Maze.
I don't know we do that.
We look at both.
I don't know that.
We with the squeaky wheel, they say the squeaky wheel get the oil.
If I was to look at the resources that are put into the city of Chicago right now for young people, right? Would you say that the violence is caused by a wide swath of people or a small swath of people?
What type of violence?
The violent crime shootings.
So are you correlating it to street organizations or not?
I'm not correlating it to nothing. There's 60 people got shot in the weekend, 60 and 15. I'm asking, where does that come from?
I don't know. It depends.
So 60 and 15. So my point with that whole thing is that we spend over $136 million on violence prevention and violence outreach groups, etc. Talk to me about what is for people who ain't violent after school.
There are programs.
Is there the same amount of resources put there? It's a business.
There are programs. There are a lot of youth. There's a lot of youth programming in the city of Chicago and in Cook County.
So why doesn't everybody take advantage of them?
Of what, youth programs?
I mean, it's just so.
It depends. It might be a lack of knowledge, lack of access, lack of resources. I mean, some of the best youth programming, in my opinion, it comes with transportation to and from the program. If you ain't got transportation to and from your youth program, then you're probably missing out on some young people being able to participate because everybody parent ain't about to bring them. So it's levels to all of this stuff.
Yeah, So parents don't have how do we you know what? Let's take a break. And when we come back, I gotta go to the bathroom. When we come back, we go finish this conversation because this is a good one. I think there is systemic problems. I have no doubt. But I'll be honest with you, walking across the street, sometimes I can't worry about the white supremacy in my calculation, right? When I'm in the one-on-one conversation or when the one-on-one, we could talk about all of these systems and everything, but when it is one-on-one with you and you come face-to-face with your reality, I don't know about the systems. We'll talk about it more when we come back. It is the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIIFTBP.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports weather and traffic update at 8:40 a.m. In sports, the Chicago Cubs finished their series in Cincinnati against the Reds. They were homer 3 times and beat the Reds 7-1 to make that 2 in a row. The Chicago White Sox beat the Oakland A's yesterday as Robert would get 3 hits and 2 RBIs, and the Sox will win 3-2. In traffic on the Kennedy, still an accident outbound to O'Hare is 68 minutes. O'Hare to the Loop will be 36 on the Eden. Inbound from Deerfield to Exchange is 42. Exchange to Deerfield is 57. Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Loop is 55 minutes. Back out will be 57. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 66. Outbound will be 46. Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 41 minutes. 28 minutes back out to I-80. On the Dan Ryan, 20 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is 8 minutes all around. That's 55th to Jackson. Jackson to 55th. On the north side as well. Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 79 and today will be a high of 82 with a low of 72. I'm Reese the Ruler, and as y'all getting dressed, why y'all gotta look so good? Here on What's in It for the Black People Radio.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on, girl, why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I wanna check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. so. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me all that you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, but not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on. Oh, when you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
Keep calling me.
You are listening to, hey man, this Maze Jackson Show. Reese around here trying to direct the traffic again. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore. She on fire. Reese over there trying to take up a collection for you. And I'm still, yeah, okay. So here's me. Let's take the blame. I don't even want to put any blame anywhere. Where is our community? Are there bad things happening? Yes, no. Is this violence real or is this just manufactured? Yes or no? Both of y'all. Ruthie? Yes? No?
I said earlier, it's a chicken or the egg type of thing. Did the infrastructure for the capitalism to be made off of this culture exist first? Or was it just some young people rapping about their lifestyle and found a way to get rich off of it?
I'm not even talking about rap at this point.
But that's our culture.
So is rap driving the
that's
violence?
Culture.
Is the
culture we talking about specifically about Chicago and drill music right now? So talk
to me. Is that culture driving violence?
Man,
is the infrastructure that finances that driving violence?
That's what I've been saying. I've said it about 20 times. And until we willing to make those connections, dismantle those connections, it's we gon' keep on being in this cycle of not being in control over our culture. We have a specific problem here in Chicago, and I mean drill music don't went all across. It's all across the world now at this point. But specifically here in Chicago, you got a lot of young people that want to get rich. They're emulating the culture. Now, the problem is we don't control the culture. So is it real? Is it fake? You know how earlier we was talking on the break and you said, do you really think these people are rapping about all the people that they killed and stuff? And I sat and I said, well, you know what, Maze? I don't really know at this point because it's profitable to talk about it, but it seemed kind of stupid. So I have no idea. I just know that there's a infrastructure set up that's not controlled by us, that's making these killings pervasive, that's glorifying this stuff to the point that we are literally, like, it's terroristic activity in our communities.
who's committing the terroristic activities? Not who's financing it.
Who's committing it?
It's just like we financed Al-Qaeda. I mean, we financed the Taliban. I guess my thing is right now, and here's where I'm at, guys, because I'm not necessarily in the vilification of the youth, right? I would tell you that if I was to look back now and you asked me, Maze, 50 years hindsight, looking back on NWA, I loved it, but I probably would say that this is an outgrowth of it, and it probably didn't. If I would have looked at it back then as a young person, shut up, C. Dolores Tucker. I think we're on a slippery slope. I guess there is a blurring to me of right and wrong. And I think we pay the price of the systemic racism, but also our, I don't want to say refusal to acknowledge it, but like the inserting of someone in between us and our youth, right? And I don't know how we get a hold of it, because I feel like I don't debate that there's a system. Like, I really don't. But I don't ever think that white folks in that system that we got to dismantle are going to have a better relationship than we are with each other. I don't know that if we can't call a spade, regardless of how the spade got there, it only winds up hurting us. Because I do think that at the end of the day, it's our people that wind up dead. And I find myself in a weird space in this world.
What if I told you that OTF, Only the Family, used to be underneath Coke Boys, which is French Montana, who's on Bad Boy. So directly correlating this drill music back up to Diddy. Do you feel a different type of way about that?
Nope.
Because I know how much you love and idolize Diddy.
I used to, till I found out he liked guys. But no, no.
But I'm saying, do you see the problem?
Ruthie.
These same people that we idolize and that we want to be like, you can draw straight lines to this violence and destruction in our communities. When the last time Diddy been to O Block?
I'm not debating that.
But that's what we need to be talking about.
And I'm saying we got to talk about that. The last time Diddy been to O Block don't make no difference if
it makes a difference.
If the people on O Block,
it makes, because if Diddy came to O Block, he could probably come back and be like, hey, But we conveniently undraw these lines that go back to capitalism and culture.
Yeah, I don't even have a problem with saying that all of it. I would draw a line back to NWA. I would draw a line back to Jay-Z. I would draw a line back to this whole thing, right? I'm not debating the industry at this point. What I'm saying is we are now eating ourselves. We're eating our children. And
for profit.
I'm not debating that. But at the premise of eating our children, I also feel like there's got to be a point where we got to say, hey, yo, we can't let this happen to us.
And what does that look like?
Well, I think it's a variety of things. I think that somebody like, what's his name? Sadiq had, Salim does, that goes and fights the radio stations, right? I think it's the creation of a outlet where black folks can talk. I think it is, I think it's a lot of different things. But I also feel like it's like we see the numbers, yo, and it's the people getting killed are us. It's like it's us. And I got you. I got the whole damn system. But the first thing I would do let me just tell you, if I was shot, the first thing I'm going to do is stop the bleeding. Well, I'm going to stop the shooter to not shoot me again. I'm going to stop the bleeding, and then I'm going to talk about the healthcare system. And I almost feel like we know that it was created to harm us. But it also seems like we want to ignore the harm that it's causing us. I don't know, man. This is a precarious situation, and I don't necessarily feel like it's the blaming of the youth, but I do feel like it is somewhere in there. Your parents got to play a role. Somewhere in there, your parents got to play a role, and I think I almost feel like we got to acknowledge that something happened there, right? That has created a disconnect in our community. And I think what you see a lot of times is people can't fight it, so they move. Because they haven't necessarily been consumed by the system. I don't know. This was a tough one for me. I don't necessarily think you should take the mural down. That's not to me. But I will always maintain that we have an internal and an external situation. I think the way you decide on what is how you deal with which one is causing you the most immediate pain and then the long-term pain. I think that these white folks have come up with a great process when it comes to this drill music, in which they create these people, they create a catalog, they kill them, now they got the catalog and the memories. And they get to keep profiting long-term. It's like, I get it. So who do we say that to? Like, do we say that to the shorty and say, yo, don't take the deal from Lear Cohen? I don't know. Do you? And then it also goes to, when do you come into your when do you become an adult? And then that was part of my question of, like, when do you become you? Like, what are you judged by? By your potential or your product? Right? Those were all twisted into this thing. Is King Von the face of the culture? What is the culture? I don't know that we know that yet. I don't know. I feel like when we see, I don't know growing up if I saw 64 dead ops. I never saw nothing like that. I said, like, when I saw somebody urinating on a grave, I was like, that's stuff white people do. So maybe we have lost control of our culture. I just don't know how we get it back. Because I do feel like what has happened is, even when I was reading through the comments yesterday, we're conflicted. White folks do us in all the time. We know that the system, they hand us the blankets, but do we pass them out? Do we wear them? Do we put them on?
If you ain't got nothing else to cover your body up with.
Right. But if long term it kills you, right? Don't worry about, be uncomfortable for a few days. Be cold. Or put the blanket on that feels warm today and it'll kill you in 3 years. It makes sense.
Sadly, those are the types of decisions and choices that you often have to choose between. And I ain't gonna never vilify nobody for having to put that smallpox blanket on because they ain't have nothing else.
I don't vilify you for putting the smallpox blanket on. But what I will do is, if you know it's the smallpox blanket and then you pass it to somebody else and pass it to somebody else and pass it to somebody else in the guise of you stay warm too, but it really, I'm going to kill all y'all over the course of time. Yeah, I can't. That might be the choice. And even if it was the only choices, it doesn't mean that the choices were good. I often tell you that the choices that we've had to make are between bad and worse. And again, this is not the vilification of Chief Keef. It's really, not Chief Keef. Dang, I done went all the way. That tell you how old I am. It's not the vilification of King Von. Man, Joe, I would tell you that if I was 16, 17, 18, I probably would have been trying to do the same thing, right? I would have had, I still rock a chain, right? I still tell y'all all the stories. I still had a lot of the influences. I feel like somewhere in my life, there was like, it's only so far I could go, right? Well, maybe not. But I don't know that I was encouraged, if that makes sense.
You switched from a 4.0 to a 4.2 or 5.
You're missing my point.
If that ain't influence, though, that's the
I'm
culture.
I'm talking about the people in my life, right? Like you talking about the mentors and all of that stuff. That's what I'm talking about. And I do feel like there was someone in my life, maybe that doesn't exist, that I was like, I'm concerned about disappointing. Right? There was someone in my life who, screw a 4.0 and a 4.6. I'm talking about when I was living a life that could have led to, man, which is why I'm not vilifying the man, because I would tell you that all me and my friends, man, you can go read the newspapers and you can see the stories of what we got into. I think in my crew, and this is only I can speak for, there were guys in our crew that would go the extra level, the next step, and then there were us that was like, oh man, that might be just a little bit too much for me. Right? We can do all this other stuff. We can do whatever, but I'm not taking that step. I think what I'm hearing here is that there's not a fail-safe. Like there's not something that undergirds.
It's called a safety net. And it doesn't exist for my generation anymore.
Do you think it's for your generation or for certain segments of your generation?
I think it's for my generation as a whole. Now, you had a safety net of a family that you say, I ain't want to disappoint them. You had a safety net with your family. Some people ain't got no safety nets. Just the same way I ain't got no work safety net, no social security in the future. Same way a lot of these young people don't have safety nets in their family. So they feel like they got to get it.
And here's where the conversation is, right? And I'm not even tripping. Ruthie is talking from the perspective of the they, as in that gotta get it. I'm talking from the perspective of the they that they're gonna get it from. Right? The they that whose life lacks value, who for all of the circumstances and everything that got them there, the they that they're gonna confront on a daily basis isn't the white people over there. It'll be the people in our neighborhoods. It'll be the black folks, etc. And again, those lives of the people that get snuffed,
ain't no on-off switch.
Again.
And you could switch the on and off switch because you had choices. Everybody ain't got no on-off switch. And once that switch is turned on in some of these people is drill, it's over with. It's feet first in this lifestyle. So whatever energy you channel to help you to get out, that's that same energy that you should be trying to instill in these young people so that they can see a way out. And that's why mentorship is so powerful, because what made it so that you could get out? Those are the same things that a young person in that same position that you was in would need to know.
It started with my parents.
Everybody ain't got parents. Mentorship.
It started with parents.
In spite of. Because we know our homes are broken.
So when we walking in, I'm saying like this. There is plenty of mentorship. I would say that more resources and energy and all of that goes to the high crime drama areas than that come to the places where there's not. My point here is the people that will come to the forefront or to the face-to-face with these choices are not white folks. They're black folks. And for the choices that they have or do not have, the life of a black person is most likely ones that's going to be impacted by it. That's it. I'm going to tell you, I do have I don't know how many of the people that are on here want to go mentor. But hey, today, do y'all want a chance? Pastor Corey Brooks services Parkway Gardens all the time. Today, they'll be packing bags. They'll be distributing food. They'll be participating in it in real life. And I guess, y'all, it's like I see every child when I see them in my interaction. It's crazy because I think all the people that worked at Maze Jack, we had almost 200 people. And often they came from challenging lifestyles. And I always had my relationship with them one-on-one. But sometimes when people leave out your purview, you just don't know who they are. I just think, y'all, we got to make sure that we ain't the victims of our own demise. It's the Maze Jackson Show, y'all. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For Maze, Ruthie, and Reese. Reese, you up there? You seem like you're kind of quiet, man. What's up? What you got to say before we go?
Oh, man, Ruthie was killing it, man. She was saying exactly what I've been saying. Then the Alderman came on there and said it like...
What Alderman?
She went to Alderman?
Go ahead. Oh, you talking about Alderman Jeanette?
Yeah, I was going to say she went to Alderman. So, yeah, it was just like exactly like what they said, man. Like, what are we doing for the youth besides blaming them?
See, I don't know if it's blame. And I really just want to get away from that because I don't know that it's blame. I just feel like there's a problem in our community. There's a few problems in our community. And we wind up being the victims of it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze and Ruthie, actually, twin, he has stopped the shootings at O Block. If you look at the numbers, the shootings that have occurred at O Block are some of the most precipitous falls in the city as it relates to the shootings. So don't say that, right? Corey Brooks out there putting it in. He stayed on the roof and he is there every day. All right, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze and Ruthie, Reese, sometimes Todd, I am the host asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, I still got to say though, yo. Real talk. Why you moved, though? I mean, who'd you blame that on?
The generation before me.
I'm with you. It's like no parents.
There's no guidance, everybody out there. So that's why I said, well, yeah.
I gotta say, you gotta stop saying that though, because I would say that the majority of us are good, as compared to the narrative that the majority of us have to live that lifestyle. I don't think that everybody has to shoot, kill to survive. I think there are people that do it and they choose that life. No trip. But I just think the people that's going to get shot and bang are your own people, and you got more respect for the people that's doing the shooting sometimes than the people that got shot. Hey, man, we seeing babies getting killed 6 and 7 years old, and it's like, who has the compassion? It's the Maze Jackson Show. All right, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Maze, Ruthie, Reese. I don't think Todd coming. And if you don't like it, you can still tell him. Maze saying we out of here. Peace.
Neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milk is so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milk is so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson. Hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters. It's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get their